We got Gators Breakdown here. We know we're business.
Gators Breakdown, because there's never a dull moment in Gator Nation.
The Gators Breakdown podcast is ready to go. I am your host, David Waters. You can find me on social media at GatorDave_SEC, coming at you night of almost Sunday. I got it in 5 minutes before midnight, so here we go. 27-16, the Gators upset the LSU Tigers in the swamp. Electric atmosphere. That was a fun one. Of course, I had to drive all the way back to Jacksonville, and I was like, man, there's no way I'm not going with an episode tonight. So debated it, wanted to watch the end of Georgia, Tennessee, listen to that game on the way back. But this one was fun. It was a fun weekend. I ended up going to Gainesville on Friday, seeing some friends. Thanks, Sean and Angie, one more time for letting me stay with you. Woke up early. You may have saw the picture on social media at the tailgate at 6 o'clock, helping set up. Everybody who stopped by, thank you so much for stopping by, saying hello at the tailgate. But we got to have a fun one in the swamp as the Gators. Man, just it's such a weird script game. When we go look at it, we'll take a look at the stats. We'll take kind of go through the game as well. And 27-16 Gators, and getting off that LSU snide finally after 5 straight wins for LSU over Florida. This one, look, it was needed. It certainly was needed. It was a winnable game. Of course, I doubted these Gators, and as my dad would say to me, just joking around, you big dummy. So, yeah, there we go. You win some, you lose some. In the prediction world, I got some right this year too earlier that not many people were picking when I picked Florida to beat UCF and Kentucky earlier in the year. But yeah, this I just needed to see it. I needed to see it, and man, I was feeling better as the week went on too. Even after I made my prediction, I was like, should I switch my prediction? Should I go out there and I really wanted to. I wanted to make it public that hey, I'm going to switch from Florida to LSU, but I didn't. I didn't want to be that flaky type to go back and forth. But man, certainly a game Florida could win. Even I said it in the preview, it was going to be a close LSU win. What I thought, but no, not to be in the swamp. The Gators get it done right here, and just a weird game. Really weird game. It seemed like we watched LSU's offense all day. Like it was an LSU offensive practice all night long with the Gator defense coming up in just key moments over and over and over again, holding LSU to 16 points, one touchdown the whole game for this LSU offense out there. So, man, impressive performance for this defense, especially given what we had seen last week, too. So, way to bounce back for the whole team as well. We'll get that in just a second, though. But everybody, hey, hit that like button, subscribe right here on Gators Breakdown if you haven't done so yet. Thank you all for joining me right here. I am tired. I didn't have much sleep last week. I stayed up late with Sean last night, and everybody, if you were following on social media, we're having some really good bourbon tastings and some good bourbon pours, and watching the Tyson fight there and the Tyson Paul fight, and that was not worth staying up for. So I wish I'd got like another hour of sleep. So so running on fumes a bit, but man, yeah, I'm not gonna not have a episode after getting this win over LSU. So hit that like button, subscribe, comment right here. Speaking of comments, I'm about to dive in over here, guys. Everybody, like I said, it's late. I know it is. Thanks for hopping in. Some of the normals in here. Harrison, yep. How about them Gators? Absolutely. Chris in here. I've seen him plenty of times, of course, as well. As he also says, but actually, let me go back. Harrison says, "How about them Gators?" Chris says, "Great game, go Gators." Then he goes on to say, "Unless absolutely, we've talked about it a little bit more in the Gators Breakdown Plus side when I did my chat episode there. That's when we talked about recruiting this past week. Need to use this," Chris says, "and capitalize on the recruiting trail." Absolutely. This was one Florida was trying to capitalize on. We saw the visit list. We saw the 5 stars. We saw the big names that were making their way to Gainesville. And boy, were they treated to just a classic swamp atmosphere. Finally, finally, and against, not against UCF, not against Kentucky, a name opponent, and one you've just struggled with Hey, look, last 2 games at the Swamp. I think my buddy Jerry on Twitter shared this as well. Got rid of that Kentucky streak, and now got rid of that LSU streak. So maybe things are trending up just a little bit right here for these Gators. Let's see. Joey also says that the recruits got to see a great game. Let's keep it going. Certainly. Matthew Walker, orange and blue football cover, says victory stream. Yeah, right here. Absolutely live stream here. Muddy Waters, I'm kind of going to go along with you there. I'll be up late tonight. This BYU game is going to kill me, but I have to watch it. Yeah, we'll see what time I get done here, but I want to watch that too before I go to bed. Divine says chomp chomp. KJ, there we go. How about them Gators? Absolutely. Good seeing you, man. Colorado King. Yeah. Great game. Go Gators. Absolutely, man. I hope everybody enjoyed it just as much as I did. It was so good just to see the team play like that, and good to see the hard work pay off. The hard work that we all talked about. All I said was, look, we just need to see it translate to wins. No doubt the team was playing hard. No doubt about it. You don't had the performances in the last month or so, last few games or so, if they're not, but it's got to equal wins eventually. It did Saturday in the Swamp. Alexander says, let's go Gators, 5-year curse broken. Joey, love the shirt. Is that available on your site? No, this is actually an official Gator shirt, so I can't sell official Gator merchandise. But I got this from Target a few years ago, of all places. So I saw it and I was like, oh, yeah, let me get it. So I got a lot of compliments on it today, too. I mean, I'm still in the same clothes I went to the game in. In the press box, I did have the shirt covered up. Can't have the Gator stuff showing, but that's the hardest part about being in the press box, is not being able to be that full fan up there. But I get by. It's all inside. I keep it up. You guys all get it right here. Of course, I got some phone calls and stuff, but when we go live on the stream and stuff, yeah, that's when I'll let it out there. But anyway, yeah, one of my favorite shirts. But everybody, certainly getting there. Hey, Andy hops in here. Andy Heyman, what an atmosphere. Absolutely. I'm assuming if you drove back to Georgia tonight or whatever, but Andy, yeah, thanks for hopping in. I'm assuming it's the Andy Heyman I know. Muddy Waters said, pretty sure the whole hatred for Billy Club went from 90% to 10% after this one. Oh, he's still going to have the detractors, of course. I think, as everybody would kind of say, for most situations, don't get too high, don't get too low. I don't know how much changes, but yeah, maybe chip away a little bit. The shoot toss demons have been exorcised. Yeah, I was even joking with the tailgate. We always try to have little fun events at the tailgate, the Harmonic Woods tailgate. And I said, man, we should have had a shoe throwing contest. That went over pretty funny. That'd be fun. That would be fun. Okay, let me go through here. Gee, finally a win we can all be proud of, and we need it. Going to sleep like a baby tonight. Go Gators. Gee, yeah, absolutely. Nose is itching. Going to sleep like a baby tonight, and if you can't join, a good bit of you live right now, once again, thank you. But if you're not listening live and you're catching the replay, my little kind of Sunday morning thing is, we get a big win or any kind of win, and grab a cup of coffee, take that sip of coffee, and it all tastes so much better after wins. Well, if you're not catching it live and if you're watching the replay, I hope that coffee tastes so good for you. I know it's going to taste so good. I'm tired, so I'm going to need that coffee in the morning time. But it is going to taste so much better tomorrow morning. I already know it because Florida's got a 27-16 win over LSU to go along with it. So there we go. Will S says the Swamp was electric today. I can't wait to get back for a game. Be next weekend with a nooner versus Ole Miss next week. That'll be the last one of the year, of course. I don't know, Will, if you'll be there next week or not. But yeah, certainly, that's what we want it to be. And of course, that's going to. The team's going to have to win in some of these big games. We've 11 straight sellouts for the Swamp. Good, the support has been there. But this one did feel a bit different. You could just tell. It was LSU. It felt different. Yeah, the crowd was good versus Kentucky. Yeah, the crowd was good versus UCF. It wasn't vintage Swamp. This was close to it. This was near it. You could tell a little bit of desperation going into it, and I think a lot of people could just feel it. We've talked about this game all week and that it was a winnable game. It's LSU's third straight loss, by the way. Texas A&M, Alabama, now Florida, and you could just kind of feel. Like I said, I kind of wanted to change my prediction through the week. I didn't do it, but you could kind of just feel it that it was that it was there. That I won't say likely happened, but could happen, and it did. I mean, what a great performance there in the second half of the Gators. Okay, let's see. A lot of good stats in this one I saw here. People are putting up in here. JB says 8 wins still on the table. Woo, JB getting a little bit of feel good here after this win versus LSU. 5-5 now for the Gators. Have to be 6 versus Ole Miss if you're trying to get to 8, JB. We got to go along here now. It would be 6 versus Ole Miss, 7 versus FSU, and 8 for Bowlwood. I mean, it's on the table. You're right. It is on the table. Let's see. Harrison, I absolutely agree. We will get into this. Seeing the pass rush was the biggest surprise. Oh, yeah. I pointed out in the preview last week, too, about LSU getting to the quarterback, LSU protecting the quarterback. Oh, we're going to revisit that. Q, man. Yep. Glad. Yep. About time we broke the LSU streak. It took long enough. For sure. Everybody, yeah, thanks for the comments on the shirt. I don't wear a whole lot because it's long sleeve. So, of course, living in the state of Florida, it's finally cooled down a little bit. And so I don't wear a whole lot. I guess I could pull the sleeves up. But maybe I need to wear it a little bit more. Everybody likes it. Okay, I'm going to keep the comments right there. Let's get to the game a bit. And I mean, first of all, just keeping on here. Gator Nation deserved this. I mean, I was smiling ear to ear. It was kind of an exhale moment. Now, I hope the team doesn't feel that way. In a way, they can. In a way, I do want them to. There's been a lot of pressure on this team, of course. Of course, we want them to move forward. We're fans. We can revel in this. But it was good to enjoy this moment. Like I said, smile on my face here. You could tell it meant a lot. It meant a lot to me to see this team go out there and play that way. But Gator Nation, we deserved it. We deserved this one and how this game played out. Deserved a day in the swamp to go and have some fun and come out on the winning side, especially over a rival. Some out there haven't doubted Billy Napier and where this program is going. Some have, and in the end, it doesn't really matter right now because we all deserve to see and enjoy this one and enjoy it the way you want. This season still had a chance to get even worse. An even worse finish to finish out the last 3 games. And after a very disappointing performance last week versus Texas, this team used it as motivation. This team moved on from it and only to show up in front of another sold-out crowd and get the 5th win of the season. The team that wouldn't quit finally broke through for the key win so far this season. A limited DJ Lagway shows growth. The offense creates explosives once again. The defense stands up when it matters most. Trey Smack just smacks 2 long field goals. It was a lot to point to. A lot to point to in this one about why you should feel good about what happened. And we'll see what it means in the future. I mean, you had to get this one because Ole Miss will be a very, very, very tough team to beat when they come in the swamp next week. You got FSU in 2 weeks. If you wanted to get that ever so important bowl game, to get these young nucleus that we've been talking about so much and get them some extra practice, okay, well, you got to beat FSU in 2 weeks as well. So you had to at least have this one. The 2 winnable out of the last 3 were LSU and FSU. Go take your shot against Ole Miss next week, but you had to have this one to even get close. So, got it done. Enjoy it. First of all, wins have been too few and far between. Enjoy it. It don't matter what side of the fence you're on. We got time for all that crap later. Let's just talk about this game. Enjoy this game. Enjoy the result of this one. All right, let's go. Florida outsacked LSU by a 7-0 margin. The Gators with 7 sacks, LSU with 0. Florida set a season high in sacks and tackles for loss. Florida had 11 tackles for loss. How big was that? Let's go back to the preview. Coming into the game, LSU had 28 sacks this year. That was number 4 in the SEC. No sacks versus Florida. A couple things. Offensive line, we've talked about it, keeps getting better and better. DJ Lagway's maneuverability in the pocket helped a whole lot too. There was a couple times he could have been sacked, sure. If another quarterback was back there, probably would have been sacked, sure. But these two things work together. The way he maneuvered in the pocket, the poise he showed, helps in that stat. But 0 sacks for LSU when they came in with 28. That was 4th in the SEC. The other side of it, LSU had only allowed 6 sacks this season. 6 all season long. That was tops in the SEC and 4th nationally. Florida had 1 more sack, 7, than LSU had given up all season long. Harrison said it earlier. That was the biggest surprise. Absolutely, it was the biggest surprise. Especially after what we saw last week against Texas, where Quinn Ewers had all day to throw. Well, coming into this one, at least in that category, LSU was better than Texas in that regard at protecting the quarterback, giving their quarterback time. Florida said, okay, it don't matter. Tyreek Sapp, George Gums, Caleb Banks. Man, in the backfield a whole lot versus this LSU offensive line. The Gators rushed for 6.6 yards a carry compared to LSU's 2.7. Now, a lot of that to do with sacks, the tackles for loss, but still, LSU running the ball. We'll get into some player stats here, but have been an issue for them all year. Gators 6.6. So, those things kind of work together. No sacks for Florida. Not many tackles for loss. Give it up. So, of course, it's going to correlate to yards per carry. LSU's getting 11 tackles for loss. Sacked 7 times. Yeah, yards per carry is going to be way down for them. Florida held LSU to its fewest points, 16 in the series since 2016 when LSU scored 10. The Gators have now won 3 straight games in the swamp by double digits versus UCF, versus Kentucky, and against LSU. Outscoring its opponents by 50 total points. In those 3 games, UCF, Kentucky, and LSU, Florida has outscored them by 50 total points. DJ Lagway, a huge part of that, of course, with the LSU and the Kentucky games. He's, 3-0 in games he starts and finishes. Started the Georgia game, didn't finish it. But, man, it's been much better. Really got to point that out. After the Miami game, after the Texas A&M game, both games, starting the season, didn't look too good at home. Bounce back versus UCF, Kentucky, and now LSU. All right, let's go through the game a bit. It's going to be a little bit long. LSU had some crazy long drives. We'll get through it. So let's go drive by drive here. Florida won the toss. They defer. LSU gets the ball first. Touchback. They start their own 25. Let's remember, no Pup Howard at linebacker. This defensive performance. No Pup Howard at linebacker. Jade Robinson gets the start. Dijon Johnson and Bridges are at corners. Pass for 15 yards on the first play for LSU. 3rd and 2 a couple plays later at the 48. LSU a yard short, going for it on 4th down. They call a timeout. Then they get the pop pass. Dijon Johnson gets the 3-yard tackle for loss. Gators set up in great field position to start the game. Lagway, of course, making the start. The offense is out here. And kind of just couldn't get it going on this first drive. First down run by Jaden Ball. Austin Barber called for holding. So it's 1st and 20 at their own 44 now. Gators get a false start, just moving backwards now. So now Florida's on their own 39. Lagway looks to DK down the field. That's broken up. 2nd and 25. Lagway to DK for 13. Sets up a 3rd and 12. Lagway looks to DK again. Hits DK, but he can't hang on. 12 men on the field. Backs it up to 4th and 17 for the Gators. LSU's now got the ball. Florida had 3 penalties on that drive. That started in great field position. Missed a great opportunity to get up on that first drive. Let's throw some stats while we talk about this. Hope you guys can see that there. LSU gets the ball back. You had a face mask on Caleb Banks on a 7-yard run for Josh Williams for LSU. The ball at the 38. 3rd and 2. And the LSU 46 a couple plays later. Throw to Mason Taylor. Aaron Gates comes up, makes a tackle for no gain. Another 3rd down stop for the Gator defense. Gators ball at their own 20 after a punt. Gators get started here. Almost didn't get started. On this drive, Lagway lucky that no interception on the first play of the drive. He throws it to Aiden Mizell. Should have been picked. Well, got fortunate. Turned it on from there. Get to a 3rd and 7 after a Jackson run at the 23. Big spot for Lagway as LSU breaks pressure. Lagway just drops it right in the bucket to DK for a gain of 34 on 3rd and 7. Jacoby Jackson runs for 20 all the way down to LSU 23. Very next play, Lagway finds Badger on the front pylon for a back shoulder catch for the touchdown. Beautiful throw for Lagway. 7-0 Gators. Gators start off with the lead. Man, nose edition. Man. All right, here we go. LSU gets the ball at their own 25. 3rd and 6 at their own 29. Early portions of the drive. They go 4 wide. Nussmeier finds the tight end Taylor for 11 and a 1st down. 3rd and 4 at the LSU 46. And a run for 8. This is when LSU is trying to turn their fortunes around a bit on 3rd down. That run for 8 went to the Florida 46. Now a 1st down, of course. 9-yard run to the left for Durham. So it's now a 2nd and 1 at the 37 now. Nussmeier escapes pressure, finds a receiver and drops it. So it's 3rd and 1 for LSU here. They get this 3rd and short with a gain of 3. Now it's 1st and 10 at the Florida 34. After a penalty, it's 2nd and 13 for LSU at the Florida 37. Tyreek Sapp blows into the backfield for a tackle for loss for 2 yards. That would be a common theme for one Tyreek Sapp. So that gets up to a 3rd and 15 for LSU at the Florida 39. 4 wide for LSU again. Nussmeier has to settle for a check down and a gain of only 5. LSU sets up 52-yard field goal. That is no good. The Gator defense stepping up. Gators take over at their own 34, up 7-0. On 1st down, Jaden Ball run goes for 11, and he just blasts an LSU defender at the sticks there. Love that physicality. Sending a message right there. It is end of the first quarter after that play. 1st and 10 at their own 45 for the Gators. 3rd and 10 a couple plays later. 4 yards to Boardingham. Only reason I'm pointing this out, and there's Montreal Johnson was out. It was 3rd and 10. Montreal Johnson out there, help him block on that 3rd and 10. He would get back later in the game as well, but the Gators do have to punt. LSU ball at their own 16, 3rd and 1. At the 2 a couple plays later, after a couple of LSU runs. Durham barely gets the first on a quick toss. 1st down at the 26. The first deep shot for LSU, that falls incomplete. LSU calls a timeout. That's their 2nd of the first half. 2nd and 10 at the 26. Nussmeier pressured, throws it away. No one open that he could see. 3rd and 10 at the 26. Nussmeier rolls right, finds a wide open Josh Williams for 12. Down to the 38. LSU driving a bit. 3rd and 9 a couple plays later at the 39. Finds Williams again. No one can come up and make the tackle. He gets another 1st down at the 48. Finding the running game a little bit here is or the running back passing game. Here LSU is. A couple plays later, Nussmeier finds Taylor for 20 yards to the 29. LSU driving. 3rd and 9 at the 28 a couple plays later. Nussmeier climbs in the pocket, finds Aaron Anderson in the end zone for a 28-yard touchdown. Sharif Denson bit on a stop. Castell can't get over in time. Common theme here. That was a 14-play, 84-yard, 5 minutes, 51-second drive for LSU. Would be their only touchdown of the game. 7-10 on 3rd down for LSU after an 0-2 start. Game is tied at 7 with 7:39 left in the first half. Gators started their own 25. Empty set on first play. Lagway finds Tony Livingston for 14, getting the tight end involved there. Talked about that just earlier this week. Wouldn't be the last time. A couple plays later, Lagway finds Jackson for a reception to set up 3rd and 1, and Jackson gets that too. It's now 1st down Gators at the LSU 48. Montrell Johnson comes back in, gets a toss run for 10 yards. Ball's at the 38 now for the Gators. 3rd and 6 a couple plays later at the 34. Empty set, 5 wide. Florida calls a timeout. 4:16 left in the first half. Empty set again when they come back out. Tunnel screen to Mizell goes for 3 to the 31. Nothing doing there. Smack comes out for a 49-yard field goal and just nails it. I mean, that thing would have been good from like 60. He nailed it. Gators take the lead 10-7. LSU starts to drive at their own 20 after a kickoff return. 3:18 left in the first half. Aaron Gates misses a tackle, and running back Durham scampers for 16 to the 36. Get to the 2-minute timeout on a 2nd and 3 for LSU at their own 43. Gain of 5 to the 48. LSU first down with Nussmeier finds Taylor to the Florida 41 now with 1:10 left. 3rd and 7 at the Florida 38 a couple of plays later with 56 seconds left. The ball was caught on the sideline by Kyron Lacey for a gain of 13 to the 25. Out of bounds, LSU, 47 seconds left. Florida calls a timeout. LSU now just kind of dinking and dunking their way down the field. Florida not giving up anything big. Thankfully, knew that was going to be a key to win. But, dinking, dunking their way down for the 2nd drive in a row now for LSU. On 2nd down, Shamar James had a wonderful game. Sacks Nussmeier for a loss of 8. Now it's 3rd and 18 at the 33, and Shamar in coverage on the very next play breaks it up. Throw was a little bit behind tight end Taylor, but Shamar right there, tight coverage, makes a play on it. 58-yard field goal for LSU is good. Game is tied at 10 seconds left, and that takes us to halftime. So, kind of weird stat line here at halftime. And wanted to bring it up because Florida had a 104 to 82-yard edge in the first quarter. 104 yards in the first quarter to 82 for LSU. That got flipped in the second quarter with LSU outgaining Florida with a 131 to 48-yard edge. The game was tied at 10 at halftime. Total yards, Florida 151, LSU 213. Passing, Florida had 99 yards passing. Like I said, couldn't get much going in that second quarter. LSU could. There's long drives. LSU had 137 yards at halftime. Florida 52 yards rushing. LSU 76. 3rd down, Florida was 2 of 5. LSU was 8 of 12. Total plays in the first half. LSU 46 plays. 21 for Florida. Florida had 7.2 yards to play. LSU 4.6. Time of possession, double in the first half. LSU had 20 minutes and 9 seconds time of possession. Florida 9:51. Like I said, stat line, a little bit weird in this one. It's where the explosives come in. Help make up for it. Next step for this offense, let's get a little more consistent. But if you compare consistency with the explosiveness we've seen, you can start to see where this offense can just be, taking it to another level. Let's get to the second half. Gators start their own 25, of course. They won the coin toss. They get the ball starting second half. Lagway finds Badger over the middle to the 44. And Lagway, gets pressure, but doesn't get sacked. But you can start seeing it, and I'm sure because of the injury a bit, LSU, trying to make him feel uncomfortable, bring in pressure. Lagway would step up, try and make some throws, but they'd fall incomplete. 4 plays for the Gators. on this first drive of the second half, 4 plays and out. LSU starts with their own 10. And on second down, Caleb Banks gets pressure, forces a sack fumble, recovered by LSU at the 8. 3rd and 12 for LSU. Running back draw for 16 yards. Defense could have got, capitalized right there to get some great field position for the offense. Didn't happen here. First down at the 24 now for LSU. 3rd and 8 at the 26, a couple plays later. Nussmeier escapes. Pressure to his right. A gain of 13 to the 39 for Anderson. Another first down for LSU. Can't get off the field, the Gator defense here. LSU running the ball well. Huge holes to the right. Taking deep shots but can't hit. Eventually, it's 1st and 10 at the Florida 14. Tyreek Sapp, once again, a tackle for loss. That sets up a 3rd and 9 a couple plays later. At the 13, LSU's call for offensive pass interference on a pick play. It was a touchdown for LSU, wiped off the board. It is now 3rd and 24 at the 28. Pass goes incomplete. Now, we talked about it in the preview coming up to this game. LSU struggling in the red zone. That shows up here. Had to settle for a 45-yard field goal. It's good. LSU takes their first lead of the game, 13-10. They scored on 3 straight drives of 14 plays, 12 plays, 15 plays. Started seeing the storyline that was being written in this game. LSU's offense should stay on the field. Like I said, 3 straight scoring drives here, 14 plays, 12 plays, 15 plays. The drive before that, remember now, was that missed field goal drive. That was a 13-play drive. So it was 4 drives in a row around that 15-play mark. 60 plays for LSU at that point. It was only 25 for Florida. Florida's only down by 3. So it was 5:54 left in the third quarter because LSU just ate so much, time off the clock. 1st and 10 for the Gators from the 25. Lagway throws incomplete. A lot of passing on first down here. So 1st and 10 from the 25. Lagway throws incomplete to Badger in a tight one-on-one coverage. Maybe pass interference there. Another incompletion to the sideline sets up a 3rd and 10. Lagway finds Badger for 14 for the first down to the 42. And then another drop in the bucket, this time to Badger for 24 yards. Earlier it was DK on that route, but just beautiful. I won't call him rainbow. Like I said, just drop in the bucket, just only where his guy can get it. Some beautiful throws by DJ Lagway. But this one, 24 yards to the LSU 34. Holding wipes out a big catch and run by Jacoby Jackson. So it's 1st and 20 now at the LSU 44. Another pass, and this one incomplete to Burke. A delay of game backs up to the LSU 49 for the Gator offense. It's 2nd and 25 now. Lagway to Badger for 12 to set up a 3rd and 13 at the LSU 37. Lagway pressure all around him on the next play. Passes to the sideline, incomplete. Smack comes out and drives a 55-yard field goal. He drills it. It's career long for him. Tie ball game at 13. Trey Smack is just on it today. All passing plays on that drive. 8 plays, took 247. Defense needs to step up here. You could see it. Tie the ball game up right here. It had some long drives for LSU leading up to this drive. It's 1st and 10 at their own 25 for LSU. Miles Graham drops into coverage. He bats the pass away over the middle. It was about 15 yards down the field. Miles Graham just drops in and right there in front of the ball, bats it down. 3rd down and 6 a couple of plays later. Need this one. TJ seriously gets the sack, and it's a sack fumble. It's picked up by the LSU offensive lineman. He then rumbles and fumbles and stumbles and, like I said, fumbles. Picks up by Caleb Banks. That's recovered by him at the 34-yard line. Great field position for the Florida offense once again. Florida's offense comes out. False start on Aiden Mizell. Backs up Florida to the 39. It's 1st and 15. Lagway to Badger and missed pass interference on the sideline here. That's the one I was talking about. Lagway to Badger, clear pass interference on LSU. They don't call it right here. 2nd and 15, loses 2. Gators moving backwards on a great field position. starting drive. 3rd and 17 at the 42. Passes short to Mizell after Lagway is pressured. Man, just like the first drive of the game, had a great field position, but couldn't take advantage of it. Thankfully, wouldn't cost Florida. A great punt, down to the 8. LSU starts there. It's 1st and 10. Ends up at 3rd and 8 at the 10. Another sack. Pressure forced by Banks. Gums gets the sack. Crowd's going crazy. That's the last play before the end of the third quarter. We Are Boys is playing. Won't Back Down is playing. The crowd's all into it. LSU has to come back out after all of that. They punt from their own end zone. DK almost muffs it. Gators with great field position again at the LSU 45. Take advantage this time. Gators offense comes back out. Run left for Jackson for 8 to get the drive started. 2nd and 2. Lagway finds Badger all the way down to the 1-yard line. Very next play, Jacoby Jackson scored from 1 yard out. Touchdown Gators. What a play by DJ Lagway. Awesome, great throw here. So poised, having to avoid pressure. Finds Badger for the big play. Jackson scores 1 play later. But for Lagway, overall still not a ton of experience. Now battling this hamstring. You certainly can tell that he's nowhere near 100% because no design runs, him not taking off and running on his own. About the only thing he was showing was pocket maneuverability. Well, that's what he did here. Moves up in the pocket. Very kind of reminiscent of that step up against Tennessee where he found DK late. Got ourselves a quarterback here. 20-13 Gators. Get the lead back. 13:58 left in the game. 1st and 10 at the 25 for LSU. 2-yard loss as Tyreek Sapp in the backfield again. That sets up a 3rd and 11 at the 24. Nussmeier has all day this time. Pays off for him to find Daniels for 20 yards. 1st down to the 44. Play action for LSU on 2nd down. Nussmeier sacked again, this time by Cam James. Everybody's getting involved here. 3rd and 14 at the 40. Nussmeier finds Xavion Thomas for 11, and they go for it on 4th and 3. Get it with C.J. Daniels gaining 7 on a reception. Defense can't get off the field here. They just allowing LSU to kind of march. But we all know they'd stand up when it mattered. LSU at the 42, Florida 42. 1st and 10. Couple plays later, it's 3rd down again. This time 4 to go at the 36. They try a little delay rollout. It falls incomplete. 4th and 4. LSU stays on the field. Nussmeier finds Mason Taylor for 15 yards. Once again, LSU's converting. Denson was blitzing from so far back. He was never a factor in that play. It's 1st and 10. Tigers at the Florida 21. False start on LSU. 1st and 15 now at the 26. 3rd and 11 at the 22 a couple of plays later. Gums has to chase Nussmeier for forever as he can't find anyone. Only a gain of 1. LSU settles for a 38-yard field goal. 15 plays, 54 yards, 8:40 off the clock. LSU was killing themselves here. I won't say killing themselves in taking forever, but that's because of the Florida defense. Not giving up the big plays, and then, kind of just allowing LSU to dink and dunk. It gets close to crunch time, gets close to the red zone. Defense stands up. There's 5:18 left in the game now. Brian Kelly, Will Miles and I were texting each other there, and I agreed with him. Kelly settling for a field goal there probably did LSU in. They need that drive there followed the script of almost every drive before that. It took them forever to score. How many chances were they going to get now? Well, there's 5:18 left in the game. Offense, you could put a long drive and put points up on the board. You put this one away. Drive starts at their own 25 for the Gators. 1st down run for Ball and a gain of 1 to the 26. 2nd and 9, and LSU brings so much pressure. And Lagway calmly finds Hayden Hansen for a gain of 19 to the 45. First down, Gators. And, man, it's awesome to see kind of a storyline that we followed all week leading up to this game, and that was the tight ends. Billy Napier asked about it last week. Yeah, we want to see him get involved more. We want to see those guys make some plays. Tony Livingston with a bigger catch earlier in the game. Bordyham had a catch. Hayden Hansen right here. I mean, a drive Florida had to have, and one that needed to take some time off the clock if you could. We know what happens eventually here, but still, it's 2nd and 9. LSU brings a lot of pressure. Just Lagway reads it, and Hayden Hansen's just wide open in the middle of the field. First down, Gators at the 45-yard line. The ball snapped with 4 minutes left, and what a call here. Great play call by the staff here. It's a toss to the left. Jaden Ballwood, great blocking. Najee Harris down the field. Austin Barber there on the left side as well. Hayden Hansen down the field making a block. Jaden Ball's got one guy to beat, and he does. It's a 55-yard touchdown, 27-16 Gators. That would be your final score. LSU not being able to do much. They got the ball back with 3:48 left. Convert a couple third down, but, Shamar James, he has a sack. Hits Nussmeier really hard. A little delayed blitz there. Caleb Banks was in there too. That was Florida's 6th sack of the game. A.J. Swan has to come in. Nussmeier converts a 3rd and 19 to Lacey for 24 yards. Still not really doing much. LSU taking too much time here. Tyreek Sapp later, he got a sack to get the 7th sack of the game. 4th and 12 for LSU. Their desperation at falls incomplete. Gators take over, 47 seconds left. Couple of kneel downs, and the Gators win the ball game 27-16. Man, it was fun. It was fun to see the defense keep responding. I mean, giving up a ton of, I say a ton of yards, but not really. 382 yards. I mean, that was the thing about LSU. While they held the ball for so long, so they didn't get many drives. They just had a ton of plays. They had 92 total plays, but only gained 4.2 yards. As we take a look at the stats here, let me blow those up. I had them here just so you don't have to look at my face when I'm explaining all those plays and drives. But take a look at the final stats here. 382 total yards for LSU, 339 for the Gators. Total rushing yards, or net rushing yards, 120 for LSU, 113 for the Gators. Gators only had 17 rushing attempts, but 6.6 yards on those. LSU, 44 rushing attempts, 2.7 yards to rush. Gators had 2 rushing touchdowns. Net passing yards, 262 for LSU, 226 for the Gators. Total first downs, 25 for LSU, 13 for the Gators. Total plays, as I said, 92 for the Tigers, 43 total plays for the Gators. Kind of tells a story when you go to the next one. Average yards per play, 4.2 for LSU on those 92 plays, 7.9 for the Gators on those 43 plays. Explosive. The great equalizer. When you have an inconsistent offense, as long as you're hitting explosive, you can still win a whole lot of ball games that way. Third downs. This is where the Gators got to get better for sure. 3 of 9 on the day. LSU 13-24. As I said, they rebounded after a bad start. But then 13-24 to finish today. 2 of 4 on 4th downs. So they did stay on the field and turn some of those third down failures into conversions. Penalties, 7 for 55 for the Gators. And if we're going to nitpick, I will admit it's nitpicking, but come on, guys, I'm going to look at the game, win or lose, the same way every time. Would probably be the one thing you would take away from this game that would be the biggest holdback for Florida was being in great field position and then the penalties starting in those great, especially that first drive. It was just like, oh man, come on. Thankfully, it did not end up hurting Florida all that much. But if you want to, kind of nitpick a little bit, look at what Florida could have done better in this game, some of the timely penalties. Looking at the defense here, 95 tackles for the Gators, of course, since LSU's running about 90-ish plays. Tackles for loss for the Gators, 11. 1 for LSU. Quarterback hurry, 6 for the Gators, 8 for LSU. But that's what I'm saying. They had 8 hurries, but no sacks. Florida had 6 hurries and 7 sacks. All right. Take a look at the Gator stats here. DJ Lagway, 13 to 26, 226, 1 touchdown. Elijah Badger was his favorite target of the day. You could tell it too. 10 targets. On those 10 targets, 6 catches, 131 yards, 1 touchdown, along with 36. Chimere DK, 2 catches, 47 yards, his long of 34. He was targeted 5 times. Hayden Hanson with 1 catch, as I mentioned. Livingston with 1 catch. Jacoby Jackson with 1. Boardingham with 1. Aiden Mizell with 1. 7 receivers caught a ball for the Gators. Florida rushing the ball. Jaden Ball, 6 attempts, 65 yards, averaged 10.8, of course. Had the long 55-yard game-sealing touchdown. Jacoby Jackson, 6 attempts as well, 37 yards, 6.2 yards a carry. As I said, Montreal Johnson, two attempts for him, 14 yards, 7 yards a carry. 6.6 right there for the Gators. Notice what you do not see right here in this rushing category for the Gators, DJ Lagway. So, guys, I think that's where we have to give some more credit. I mean, of course, he is a passing quarterback first that just is able to run really well as well at the same time. Didn't need to. I mean, he proved a lot to me by being able to do the things he was able to do. He had to adjust his game. And I'd love to be in his mind of his. Like, how many times did he want to take off? How many times was he trying to protect himself? I mean, this was an LSU defense that was coming into this game pressuring the quarterback. And they pressured DJ Lagway a lot in this game. And his inclination wasn't to take the ball down and run. It was to still look to make the pass. And that's kind of his mindset anyway, but even probably more so today against LSU. Just impressed with how he was able to adjust his game and still have success. 13 to 26, 226, 1 touchdown. On the defense, you just heard as we went through the game there, the tackles for loss and the sacks. Well, that was led by one Shamar James, 11 total tackles. I mean, he's really come on as late and really had to come on in this game because of the absence of Pup Howard. Hopefully Pup is back next week for Ole Miss. But Shamar James had to step up. He's been playing really well lately. Comes in, 11 total tackles, 2 tackles for loss, 2 sacks, 2 pass breakups. Now, I know I put out on Twitter today, after the game, and I was talking about Tyreek Sapp, and I was like, man, he really should be SEC Defensive Player of the Week. Well, maybe Shamar James should be up there too. SEC, give it to both. Shamar James, Tyreek Sapp, they need to be co-SEC Defensive Players of the Week. That's SEC. If you're gonna call me, that's my recommendation. Jack Pyburn had 8 total tackles. It was kind of quiet, but 8 total tackles there to go along with Tyreek Sapp's 8 total tackles. And the reason Sapp's stands out, like I said, 4 tackles for loss for Tyreek Sapp, led the team there in that category. 1 sack as well. So they're just some impact plays for Tyreek Sapp. Go to linebacker again. As we mentioned, Pup Howard being out. Jaden Robinson got the start, but Miles Graham, true freshman Miles Graham out there, 7 total tackles out there for Miles Graham. Good for him. Traquez Bridges also had 7. Jaden Robinson also had 7. Jordan Castell with 6. Bryce Thornton with 5. There you go. I mean, just front 7 that really, really took control when they needed to. Some big plays behind the line of scrimmage. Caleb Banks, I mean, you're not going to see it in the stat column. Only 3 total tackles. But some of those other stats from some of the guys we were just talking about, a lot of that caused by one Caleb Banks. George Gums played a really good game. 3 total tackles for him. One of those was a sack. The other one, as I mentioned, was Nussmeier trying to find somebody open, being Gums breathing down his neck, runs him out of bounds for only a 1-yard gain late in the game. I mean, really good performance by this defense. Garrett Nussmeier went 27 of 47, 260 yards, 1 touchdown. Anderson, LSU's leading receiver, 7 catches, 72 yards. But look, guys, a long of only 28. Now, if Florida was going to lose this game, it was probably going to be because there was a 40-yarder somewhere in there as a long for some of these guys. But the longest completion was 28 yards. Mason Taylor, of course, one of the and look, I said it in the preview too. LSU spreads the ball around. Spreads the ball around a good bit. 7 different receivers here, but Anderson with 7, Taylor with 6, Williams with 4, Lacey with 3. And I think on the TV broadcast, I didn't get to see much of it in the press box, but I think there was some Lacey blowing up at Brian Kelly on the sideline. C.J. Daniels with 3, Durham with 3 as well. LSU rushing the ball. As I said, it's going to be affected a bit by the sacks for Nussmeier. Like they lost 46 yards there. Durham and Williams, they had a pretty good day. 20 attempts for Durham for 91 yards, 4.6 yards a carry. Williams, 13 attempts, 69 yards, 5.3. So, but one more time, the Gators defense stepping up when they needed to. Gators offense didn't have many plays, so not really to talk about there as far as standouts. But actually, you know what? There is, because there was another stat I wanted to go to. And if I can find it from last week when I was looking at the preview. It was, let's see, LSU's defender. Where was that key stat? No, yeah, Whit Weeks. LSU's linebacker Whit Weeks. Coming in just dominating. Really good games lately. 93 tackles through 9 games coming into this game. He had 3. Florida's offense, like I said, not on the field a whole lot. But he had 3. He had 3 tackles when he came in with 93. That was second in the SEC. All right, good stuff there. Good stuff. Big plays for the Gators. If you look at the passing, you had a 34-yard completion, 23-yard completion, 19, 17, 24, 36, 19. So 7 passing plays there of at least 17 yards for the Gators. And then rushing, of course, you had a 20-yard run, an 11-yard run, a 10-yard run, and a 55-yard run by Jaden Ball. Pretty good 1-2 punch there right now with Ball and Jackson helping make up for the loss of Montrell. Looks like he's getting healthier, but Ball, Jackson carrying the show right now. Okay. Everybody, thanks for hanging around. Alexander says, yep, coffee going to taste nice tomorrow. Austin says, any word about the recruits that are at the game? Not really for me. As I said, I drove from Gainesville to Jacksonville, watched the end of Georgia, Tennessee, did a little bit of prep for the podcast, and then came on live. So I haven't been able to I did get a phone call as I was podcast prepping from I know would be some recruiting news. I haven't even been able to check it out yet. I was trying to get you guys. I don't call this a job, but in a way it is. But I was trying to do my job for you guys, trying to get this podcast out for you guys. I have a lot to catch up on. So, yeah, we'll see what Sunday holds. Okay. Q-Lee says, third down defense still wasn't good, Dave. Way too many third down conversions. Yeah, as I said, had a good start. Then LSU came for them for LSU in their third down. So 13 to 24, that's 54%. Like I said, Florida did improve as the game went on. In the first half, after that bad start, as I said, in the first half, they started really piecing together those third downs, staying on the field a good bit. They had 8.8 yards to go on third down. So that's where I'd be like, yeah, they were 4 of 9 on third down and long. So that's where it really killed Florida because they converted some third and longs. You really shouldn't be giving up. So they were 4 of 7 on third and short. That's 1 and 4. 1 to 4 yards to go. Average yards gained on third down for LSU, 7.5 yards gained on third down. So Nussmeier was 12 of 16 for 139 yards on third down. One thing now, thankfully the defense did step up when they did because remember Nussmeier had come into this game turning the ball over, throwing interceptions left and right, could not take care of the ball. Took care of the ball today against Florida. So thankfully the defense stepping up deep in their own territory over and over again. I think the sacks eventually got to him. Remember, he got knocked out, and he was getting beat up in that second half. Muddy Waters brings up a good point. Something I was thinking of on the way home. Hey, man, we beat Kentucky and LSU. Both those teams beat Ole Miss. DC says, great game. Proud of how hard they played. Tonight, I'm just enjoying the win. Enjoy it, enjoy it, enjoy it. They've been few and too far between. Good point, buddy. Absolutely. This kind of been a theme, but LSU's kind of been the benefactor of that a good bit. We have literally scored enough, 30-plus points against LSU for 6 straight years, and our defense finally showed up and gave us a win in this series. Absolutely, especially the last couple of years against Jay Daniels, 2019 against Burrow and that offense. But, not many defenses were stopping that offense. But, still, if you get one more stop in that game, maybe you upset LSU in 2019. 2020, of course, in that game where Florida's defense, that defense was bad. But still, Florida's offense should have done enough. Had enough points in that game, but defense can't stop. Yeah, it's just kind of the way it's been. Defense steps up here. Hold them to 16 points. Okay. Dova. So tired of losing to LSU. This one was awesome. Sorry, guys. I know I'm just getting back to old comments there. So if you've left a chat, sorry. Just wanted to get into the game a little bit. DC brings up a good point. It's going to be hard because it just hasn't been consistent. So I'm going to say no, but hopefully we can get something off of this. Can we keep up that kind of pressure from the defensive line? Was this the future or just a one-time thing? Well, it's been a while since Florida, just overall in general, especially in SEC play, has had a performance like this up front. This was reminiscent of 2018, 2019, and those defenses, 2019, when you had Grenard, out there, and what was it, Polite was out there with him as well, I believe, or Zuniga, but he was hurt in 19 a little bit too, so Grenard had to put up that, but that season opener versus Miami in 2019. That's what the second half. I mean, Florida only had one sack in the only one sack. We would probably be taking that given what this defense is showing, but only had one sack in the first half. They had 6 sacks in the second half. Because of that reminded me of that season opener 2019 Miami game. It's been a while. So, look, the way it happened, I can't, and the way the season has played out, I can't say that this is what we should expect. Now, I do think you should expect better than what we saw last week against Texas. But it's probably not going to be at this level. I mean, not many teams are. Now, I know you know that. So, just hopefully it's a sign that they can finish the season out much better. Now, in 2 weeks, yeah, you should be able to. Next week versus Ole Miss, we will see. It's going to take something like this, but more than likely. Dover brings up a good point, too. Dijon Johnson had a hell of a game today covering Lacey. Yeah, that's something I do want to watch on replay. Something to watch the defenders a bit more, especially in that second half when Florida was dominating up front. That's where most of the focus was. But what stood out to me the most, as I said, it was Tyreek Sapp. Best game by far as a Florida Gator. He was the one that jumped out the most to me. Okay, lots and lots and lots of comments. Let me go to the end. Anything you guys bringing up you want to talk about, discuss before I sign off here? Let's see. One more time. Thank you, guys. Hit that like button. Subscribe. Maybe I can catch the end of this BYU game. Okay. Doesn't look like much is going on in the... I mean, y'all are chatting, just talking about the other football games. So good stuff. Woody Michael. Man, I like this. I think we can all get behind this. DJ Lagway for the Heisman 2025. Travis Peterson. DJ will be a Heisman before he goes pro. Let's go. And Woody does bring up a good point too. This is what we got to see this payoff. What did I say? Well, I say what did I say? I forgot last week's chat about recruiting was just for Gators Breakdown Plus members, but you guys know it too. With Dallas Wilson, the 5-star wide receiver, Jamie French, the 5-star wide receiver, right there in the swamp. What could have made an impression on them? Nothing could have made an impression better than having DJ Lagway go out there and pretty much do what he did. That was going to be one of the biggest selling points. Now, of course, they can see it on TV. They can see it on film when they're watching it with the coaches or whatever. But when they're in that atmosphere and they see DJ Lagway launching a ball down to Elijah Badger, they're seeing themselves in that situation. So you got 2 5-star receivers right there. And I think Dallas, y'all talked about some recruiting news. Dallas Wilson did say after the game at some point, I did see this headline. It's about the only one I saw, that he is now going to schedule an official visit to Florida. You couldn't ask for anything better. A wide receiver from Tampa. He's committed to Oregon. He comes to the swamp, sees this performance. I want to see more. I want to take an official visit to Florida now. We'll see. It's going to take a lot. We see the Oregon recruiting machine. Maybe Dan Lanning goes to the NFL. Maybe those reports are true. Look, you know what? Let's go back to that too. Now, you guys know my stance on this, and I've said it over and over again. Why are we wasting money? We ain't got no chance of these guys. We're just spending money, and these guys are just getting wined and dined for no reason. Well, you know my stance on this, on bringing recruits in, especially in today's college football. You never know what hanging on to the relationship will do. I know firsthand, because I know the relationship, I know the situation. Pup Howard is a Gator now because of that. Keeping, letting them visit, keeping the relationship very fresh. We saw it last cycle. Jameer Grimsley ending up back in the class. Cormani McClain coming back. No, you keep the recruiting relationships going. And now you see it here with now too. You never know what coaches are going to go to the NFL or take another job. Say Dan Lanning does go. Well, now you've had Dallas Wilson on campus for this game. He's going to take an official visit. If Dan Lanning goes to the NFL, who's sitting in a good spot? Well, it might be Florida. So no, there is no such thing as wasting visits on kids in today's college football and all the movement that's happening. There is no such thing as wasting a visit. You keep the relationship good. You keep it going. Misty Ray. The Gators over the past month have been playing some really good football. Definitely playing hard. Yeah, certainly, Misty. I think we can all agree with that. And it's good to finally see it pay off in a win. These guys needed that. You can be beat over the head so many times. Now, I'm not saying that would have happened with this team. Credit to them for keeping on going, but we're doing our best. We're doing our best. We're doing our best, and we're not seeing the result. Well, you saw the result today. 27-16, Florida over LSU. They saw the result. That's what they're playing for. Harrison says, Dave, if you had to guess, do we finish top 15 in recruiting? Going to take a massive jump, of course, Harrison. Now, I don't know if you're just talking high school or talking high school and portal. Top 15. I wish I could go use the class calculator right quick on 24/7. Just high school, Harrison says. Man, I think they're right there in that area. All right, Florida just won. They beat LSU 27-16. Sure. Let's go with it. Like 15th, 14th, maybe something like that. So, yeah, that's about where I'm at. Ryan Tooper, does Tyreek Sapp practice with the D-line or edge group? I feel like most of the pressure came from the interior linebackers and F and not really the jack. As far as I know, he practices with the defensive line, and you are right in that. Now, like I said, Gums was, I thought, pretty active. Seriously, was active earlier, but you're right. Most of it came from, like I said, that's why I wanted to shout out Caleb Banks because, man, he was a menace back there helping these guys. I mean, it's just it was impressive to see. And Caleb Banks, I mean, credit to him too. Often overlooked, coming into the season, even more, admittedly, me too. I'm not saying and pointing anything to you guys out there, but he has really, really had a nice season. Has progressed really good. Q Lee says, high school was too late, but portal, we don't know. You know how UF does slow and cheap. Well, that's supposed to be changing, Q, but I know. See to believe. And Muddy Waters is about to round out these comments before I sign off here. If you're a top portal wide receiver, why wouldn't you come here? Lagway throwing the ball, and Ricky developed the first round wide receiver. And let's not forget, Muddy, let's talk about the transfer wide receivers that are on this roster right now, too. Impressive jumps in production from their previous stops for Elijah Badger, for Chimere DK. There is a lot to point to as far as the track record goes for, hey, if you're a transfer receiver, first of all, look what we did with Pearsall. Look at what we did with DK and Badger. And see number 2 right there? He's going to be throwing you the ball. You want that 50-yard bomb down the field? He can get it to you. You want that crowd in the swamp to be cheering for you like that? Come play with that guy. And absolutely. Just go to ASU and reel in another one. Yeah, we got to see who, Dillingham, the head coach at Arizona State, who had, I think I saw a big win today. We'll see what receivers they have, but they might not let him go. Yeah, Cooley, Van Jefferson too, for sure. But just talking about, this staff, though, I guess Billy Gonzalez too. He was part of both staffs. Yeah. Good stuff. Good stuff, guys. Fun late night right here. A little bit of Gators Breakdown after dark. Man, fun conversation though. Fun conversation. Harrison says, Dave spitting game. About which topic? I hope I've been doing good tonight. I am tired. I am wore out. Like I said, it was a late night. Got up really early for the tailgate. I think I got like 4 hours of sleep. That was after driving to Gainesville yesterday, driving back today. Little loopy maybe. All in good fun with a 27-16 victory for the Gators over LSU. All right, talking about recruiting, Harrison. Yeah. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. Getting this chat late night. Always easier to do these things after a victory. Glad we get to talk about one. Hopefully 2 more. Hopefully 2 more after this one. Definitely, hopefully 1 more. You cannot lose that Florida State team at the end of the year. But hopefully we are talking about 2 more coming up here. But all right, everybody. 27-16 Gators over LSU. That'll do it for this episode of Gators Breakdown. I am your host, David Waters. You can find me on social media at GatorDave_SEC. Guys and girls out there, thank you for joining me on this episode of Gators Breakdown.